Hello, amazing fellows! Welcome to Clover Lab IELTS Tutorials. My name is Huma, and today we're gonna delve into summary completion type questions. Along the way, we will cover some practical tips and do one exercise together. Sounds cool, right? Okay, let's go. So, first of all, what is summary completion, right? Well, as you already know, the word summary means a clear description of the main ideas of something. So in the case of IELTS reading, we are provided with a summary of the passage, and in this summary, it's usually going to be a text. So in this text, we have some blank spaces. These are the words missing. So we have to fill in these spaces or fill in these gaps to fulfill the task, or in other words, to complete the sentence. So, essentially, there are two types of summary completion. So the first type is you fill in the gaps with the words from the passage. And the second type is you fill in the gaps with the words from the word list. So you're given a word list like options A, B, C, and etc. Okay, at this point I hope everything is clear. So let's move on to our tips. So here is the tip number 1. Read the instructions carefully. Yes, guys, seriously, you have to read the instructions very carefully. Because suppose a situation, you have a filling in the gap type question and you have the instruction, write no more than 2 words. And accidentally, you write 3 words. And you fill your answer sheet with 3 words. So guess what? Your answer will not be considered right, even if your answer makes sense. So that's why if the instruction says write no more than 2 words, then yes, please write no more than 2 words. So that means maximum 2 words allowed. Be careful with instructions. Okay? Here is the tip number 2. Predict the word type. Well, in both IELTS reading and in IELTS listening, you can predict what kind of word you need to fill in the gap. So you have to analyze the sentence and understand whether you need a noun, an adjective, or a verb to input into that blank space. And if you can guess what kind of word you need, it's going to be easier for you to locate the answer inside the passage. So let's say if you need to input an adjective in the gap, then you should search for adjectives in the passage. And yeah, to better illustrate to you this case, I'm gonna show you an exercise when we move to our practice session. And yeah, to better illustrate you the case, we will do an exercise and we will solve some questions when we move to our practice session. Okay, right now let's look through the passage and our questions. So let's take some time to skim and scan the passage for the right answer. Okay, now I'm going to guide you through each question. So the first question is the following sentence. Have a look. Okay, from the context of the sentence, we can even make an educated guess as to what the missing word is. Well, it should be a noun. because that's what grammatically would make sense, right? And this word can be a negative word because we see that consumers complain. And next, we're going to find the keyword. So we can select do-it-yourself products as the keyword phrase to scan the text for. We find it in the very first sentence, as you see. We then read the whole sentence in detail and confirm that the right answer is frustration. Yeah, let me read it. The instructions accompanying do-it-yourself products are regularly cited as a source of unnecessary expense or frustration. So yeah, frustration is the word we're looking for. Okay, let's move to the second answer. The second answer comes in the same sentence, if you noticed. And we should reread the sentence and choose keywords in the final phrase to help us to locate the matching information. And we can choose not tested, as this is the main idea. Please note that we're looking for another noun as the missing word had an article in front of it. So the article was a. And we can scan on through the text and find the word test in the next sentence. Well, let's read the sentence in detail to check if the information really matches. So the sentence goes like this. Few companies seem to test their instructions by having them followed by a first-time user. So yeah, it does really match. There's a paraphrasing here, but few companies seem to test their instructions means the same as haven't been tested by companies. And we just need to find the words that tell us who the product hasn't been tested on. And we can easily identify this to be a first-time user, right? So yeah, the answer is first-time user. Alright, what's next? On reading the summary sentence containing the third missing words, we can see that it comes before a noun, and it's going to be an adjective describing the noun information. So here's the sentence. In situations where not keeping to the correct procedures could affect safety issues, it is especially important that blah blah blah, the space, right? Information is not left out. So we take information as the keyword, but also we're going to be mindful that a synonym might appear in the text. So we scan the text. The test setter has been kind and information is in the next sentence. Okay, if we read it, it's going to be like this. Often, essential information is omitted. Steps in the construction process are taken for granted and some degree of special knowledge is assumed. Well, the answer is obviously going to be the adjective associated with the noun. So yeah, the adjective is essential. That's the answer for the third question. Okay, the next gap is in the second half of the same sentence. Well, because of this, we can guess that the answer might be in the same sentence in the text as the last one. So that's why we go back to the text and read it carefully, looking out for any words that match those in the summary sentence or are synonyms of them. We can choose assumptions and consumer as keywords to particularly watch out for. Okay, so look at the text. Often, essential information is omitted. Steps in the construction process are taken for granted, and some degree of special knowledge is assumed. Well, here we spot the word assumed. So now we are in the right place in the text. The sentence is paraphrased, but even if we weren't sure of exactly what it meant, it's clear that the answer is special knowledge. because it is related to the word assumed. So yeah, special knowledge is the answer. Okay, now we come to the final gap. It occurs in the middle of a long sentence. So we should select keywords as before. Well, I think that documents, language, and courts are the best ones to scan for. Okay, we scan for them and soon identify the sentence containing the answer. But there is more work, of course, to be done to find the word or words we need. Let's have a look at the text. And as you might have noticed, the word ambiguity appears in both the text and the summary, and that the phrase for a long time and over the centuries match with each other. Neither, however, provide the answer, so we must read deeper. What we need to do, guys, is to focus on the words in the summary that specifically relate to the missing word. They come immediately before it and are to lose faith in. So we go back to the text and read carefully to try and spot a word or phrase with a similar meaning, Well, as for me, there is nothing obvious, but I know that the word confidence in is a synonym of faith in. So I make an educated guess that the answer will be here. The next words are legal formulations. I don't know what this means, but it would seem to fit in the context of the sentence, and it sounds grammatically correct. So, without wasting more time, I put it as my answer: legal formulations. Okay. Alrighty, we did an excellent job for today. I hope you guys gained lots of important insights, and yeah, please try out the strategies we mentioned so far. And yeah, stay tuned and follow Clower Lab on our Instagram channel. See you next time.